Are you nervous?
Nah, not really.
No.
No.
What time are you running tomorrow?
Around 1:45.
1:45.
My name is Adam Cowplate, and throughout this documentary I will go over how people in modern society perceive the millennial generation. A millennial, as you can see here, is someone born during the time that modern technology started getting created. With all this tech, they were then called lazy, stupid, or just the worst generation.
I quit. This job is different than I thought it would be.
Stop. Does this situation look familiar? A new type of worker has entered the workforce. They're called Millennials, and they're terrible.
The lad you saw at the start of the documentary is called Joshua Cowplate. Josh is a college student by day, but in his spare time, he does things like this.
It's been on for like 10 years. What black spot?
What you're seeing is the European trials that Josh ran in November. This race was a challenge for Josh to try and qualify for a chance to run for the Great British cross-country team.
Well done, boys. Go on, Josh.
Go on, Josh! Go on, Josh!
Come on, Josh. Go on, Josh. Cast it. Go on, son. Go again. Cast it again. Come on, Josh.
Well
Come on,
done,
Josh.
Joshua.
Well done.
You get 9? I want to step forward.
Right, guys, let's do the top best dunk and get dressed.
Quads. Oh!
You've got to shout.
Oh, you spat on me. Yeah, me.
So, how do you feel?
Knackered.
Knackered. You feel like you had a good race then?
Above average race.
After Josh's race, he went for a warm down, and I had the chance to talk to his teammates quickly about how they felt on our generation.
What a year.
The question is, how do you perceive our generation? Do you see us as being lazy and stuff? Like with all this technology? You do? You feel like it, yeah? Despite you being very active and running here today?
Indeed, unfortunately, Adam, we're in the minority.
You're in the minority. Yeah.
And there's not many people.
And why do you think that is?
Of the entire country, there's what, 200 people here?
Fair enough.
Generational challenge.
I would actually disagree.
You would
about this
disagree?
statement.
Why? Please tell me.
Even though he's saying yes, there's only 200 people at this race at this moment, but it's only a very small sport, a very select amount of people that come into the sport. To be lazy, you need to find in different ways. I don't find it as not being out there running, etc. There's other sports, like I say, you can do it, basketball, football, tennis, running, etc. That all can combine to make you not lazy. And even if people don't do sports, like working hard and taking school seriously, in my opinion, it wouldn't be helping being lazy.
Alright, fair. Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Joshua Cowplate, and I am a student at sixth form and a runner.
As a sports enthusiast, how do you perceive your generation, our generation?
I see it as a very athletic generation, more than probably ever before because of developments in facilities and even advancements in sport and time, stuff like that.
Take a look back at your achievements. You've run for your club, you've run for your school, you've run for your county, you've run for your country. What would you say your best moments or proudest achievement was?
Well, it's got to be winning my national title in 2016 on the cross country. Probably the best moment, but then running for England in the likes of Belgium and Spain have also been highlights in my athletic career.
People see our generation as wanting to sit and play on computer games all day. You play computer games, yeah? You play on your PlayStation?
Of course, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, definitely spend more time on the PlayStation, but
You do?
yeah, but that's because there's only so much you can do, like I said before, on the physical activity without wearing yourself out. And there's more time during the day when you're at home when you'd be bored and you just think, oh, what am I going to do? I'll go on the PlayStation.
Thank you for your time, Josh.
You're very welcome.
The next people I interviewed were Josh's parents, who I got a different perspective on millennials from two people born in the baby boomers generation. Hello.
Hello, Adam.
Well, Chris and Rachel.
Hello, Adam.
Do you feel like the millennial generation is a lazy generation to your generation?
In general, I do. There are exceptions to the rule. Our children were all brought up to love exercise because Rachel and I enjoy our exercise.
But when we were growing up, children played outside more. We didn't have games to play inside.
Video
games? There weren't the games back then when we were children. So we did play outside more.
Do you feel like we are lazy though? Like a millennial generation?
No, in general, as I've already said,
And I think
I do not think that the generation is completely lazy, but there is more a tendency to play on game stations, play indoors, do something that I would class as lazy.
But you don't feel like that's everyone's case, no?
not everybody, but there are a lot more children who don't do as much exercise.
Have you heard of the term special snowflakes?
No.
By the term, it's stating that we are a weaker generation. Do you feel that millennials are a weaker generation compared to yours?
I would say that you're only weaker in terms of statistically you're spending more time in a house, behind a screen, behind a console.
I feel that it's more widely talked about. People won't accept sexism, racism, things that will offend people. And I think in one way that it's better that people are more open and society is more acceptable of people.
If you want to excel in something and you work hard at it, you will get better.
Have you learned that from YouTube? Have you?
I always believe in positive mental attitude in life.
If you want something, you've got to. It's not given to you on a plate. You've got to work for it. In anything.
Okay.
But we will support to achieve that as much as possible. But that drive and determination has got to come from Josh.
You can't push him too hard.
We can take him to events, we can take him to training, we can buy him some shoes, we can buy him the kit he needs to wear, but we can't run for him, we can't train for him, he's got to do that himself.
He's doing the activity.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you very much.
I interviewed two young sporty lads called Harry and Jack to hear their opinions on the subject at hand.
You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jack. I'm Harry.
Right. Okay. Do you know what a millennial is?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
It's someone, well, it's perceived as someone who's born after the 2000 millennium, but it can really be anyone who grew up in the technology era.
Okay. Do you know what a special snowflake is?
Never heard of it.
So, you You know what it is?
It's just someone who's proper emotional about everything and can't take a joke.
Yeah. Does that offend you? That people call people special and snowflakes in our generation?
No.
Doesn't
Not
offend
at
you?
all.
No,
Why would it?
because I'm not a snowflake myself, so it doesn't offend me. A snowflake would be offended by being called a snowflake because that's why they're a snowflake.
Okay. So, why do you like exercising? Why do you like coming to play football here or anything like that?
Oh, well, the social aspect really, I get to meet up with mates every week, it keeps me at the house, I get to stay fit at the same time, it's really a win-win.
It's just fun to play and keeps you active while you're doing it, which is a double bonus.
Right. Is there anything you would say to someone that doesn't exercise that you would tell them to get out more or something?
Well, they probably should exercise more because it's not only good for their physical health, it's good for their mental health too, because they'll get them out in an open space, which will open their mind up to more things rather than just being enclosed in themselves and in their mind.
And the meet up with friends, it also gives you the ability to talk with things I'm going through in mind.
Millennials in our generation are perceived to be lazier. Do you see that? More people are lazier?
Yes
because
and no.
Because of the technology that we have today.
I was going to mention that the technology has made people more inclined to stay in their own homes and to use technology such as video games, even on the phones a lot. But also technology can connect people, which will make them be more active because they have more chances to go outside and socialise in maybe sporting aspects.
You see, when we were younger, you know, you go around every street and there'd always be a group of kids playing football or something, kicking against the wall or, you know, making goals, jumpers for goalposts. And then now you go out and you don't see anyone, you know, you see the odd group of people and that's about it. And you just think, well, they're all sat at home on Xboxes because of the technology.
So you see it as a negative?
It's a positive and a negative. Technology's made it easier for everyone in life,
but you don't think everyone just sits at home all day?
No, obviously people do go out and stuff, but it is definitely not as frequent as it used to be where you're out every night, you know.
Okay, so there is a fact that in America it is worse. People are spending a lot more time indoors. People are saying that you're spending 87% of the time indoors. That does include sleep and whatnot, but still. What do you think of that?
Well, I'd say that's mainly down to the fact that most people, Americans for this, spend their time during the day in school or in work, which are mainly indoor activities, and the school or work aspect of it would probably take up around 40% of the day, and then sleeping's another 20-30%, so they don't have much time in that aspect to actually go outside.
I then went on to interview Margaret Walton for an older perspective of the subject.
My name is Margaret Walton and I'm a senior citizen and I'm 84 years of age.
Do you know what a millennial is?
Yes, I do. A millennium is born in the what I call the technological age, and they're up to date with all the latest technology, which my generation has not come to terms with yet.
Have you ever heard of the term special snowflakes?
Yes, a snowflake is someone who is a bit of a weakling as far as I'm concerned.
Great. Why is that?
Well, you get quite, well, so-called quite learned people, you know, people who are at university and that, and they try to change things, or they object to things and they can't cope with things. Not the way it's always been, but they try to change it because they particularly don't like it, and it's not of particular interest to anybody. I think they've got weak minds.
It's nice to hear that someone's actually heard of the term, because most of the people that I've interviewed have not heard of the term, but most of the people I've interviewed have been younger. So it's kind of a term that older generations have given to the younger generations. So it makes quite a lot of sense that you've actually heard of it. Compared to your generation, how different do you think millennials are?
Well, I was brought up in a generation where it was a time of austerity, but we were brought up to respect. It was just after the war and then during the war. It was a time to respect your parents. As I say, it was a time of austerity. There was very little money about, so we had to help our parents the best way we could so they could pay for the home comforts that I think today's generation take for granted.
How do you feel that millennials take things for granted?
They expect everything to be done for them. They don't think of what their parents have had to cope with and how they're managing to cope, what they've experienced, plus the fact that they do need your respect, they do need your help now and again. And as mundane as it might seem, just helping in household chores, which they sometimes think it's beneath them or it isn't their job to do it. But in terms of respect and helpfulness, it would go a long way.
So do you think that despite there being the lazy people, do you feel like there are just as many more or less people that are doing more outdoor activities, more exercise, whatnot?
I do, yes.
Do you think more people are doing it?
Yeah, I do think it is very important.
Why do you think more people are being involved in physical exercise?
Because it stimulates the mind as well. It stimulates your mind, it keeps your body fit, and it makes you want to do better.
Thank you for your time, Margaret.
Okay, thank you.
In conclusion, this documentary has covered that millennials, like Josh, are not as lazy as society makes them out to be. We've heard from a range of different generations and their viewpoints on millennials. And as you can see, we're not the lazy generation that people make us out to be.